Welcome, race fans, to the 4th annual Kma Santadega. What an exciting night of racing we've got out here, folks. We've got a lot of drivers out here, a lot of pretty painted trucks. A lot of drivers have gone to a lot of effort to paint up a totally cool Christmas theme. I want to give a big shout out there to John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs, our sponsor for the 4th annual Kma Santadega. Going to be a good night, folks. I can feel it down to my bones. Tonight we are sitting out here at Talladega, this 2.653 mile speedway built for speed. We are driving the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. Fine weather out here tonight, 65 degrees air, 75 degrees down onto that racetrack. Perfect conditions for high-speed, caution-free truck racing on a Saturday night. Now, we've got a couple of special guests in here tonight. We've got last year's winner of the 3rd annual Santadega, Rob Haynes. Won it last year. Can he do it again? We'll be rooting for Rob Haynes. We've got Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Chuck Dix coming out of retirement. Matthew Quick representing the Squatty Potty Car. Alan Larson, James Brown, and everybody's favorite driver, Everett Fast Lane Racing. And hopefully Everett will be fast out here tonight. Now, Donald Stewart's also joining us as well. And Donald Stewart has offered up a little bit of incentive to these drivers to keep it clean. If tonight's race finishes under green flag circumstances, Donald Stewart will be offering $25 to first place, $15 to second place, and $10 to third place. But the stipulation is it's got to end under green flag racing. I think they can do it. I think you think they can do it. We'll have to see if they can do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick look at our qualifying field out here tonight. Out there on that first line, we've got Raymond Rittenauer pulling down a 53.489. Matthew Quick with a 53.529. Rob Haynes, last year's winner, with a 53.562. Sitting in 4th place, we have got Alan Larson. 5th place belonging to Chris Voiles, representing Maximum Velocity. Matt Burkhart joining us off in 6th position. John Pansula, Crazy Mike, position 7. Lee Staples with Black Talon in position 8. James Brown, he feels good, sitting back in 9th, and Donald Stewart in 10th position. 11th position belonging to Everett Lane. Paul Cohen sitting off in 12th. Derek Glachaki back into position 13. Joseph Rice, 14th position tonight. And in 15th, we've got John Woodruff. Jake Ritchie back in 16th. Danny Rudy, position 17, and Craig Kinney in 18th. 19th and 20th belonging to Sean Dewar and Dave Casia. Joel Wood sitting back in 21st. Michael Johnson in 22nd. Richard Brose, our Thursday night sponsor, back in 23rd. Paul Pellizier with Kickin' Asphalt, position 24. Ivan Garcia, position 25. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor, back in position 26th. Rodney Morris back in 28th. Gary Whitmer Sr., position 29. And Kevin Scott Nelson, also with Kickin' Asphalt, position 30th. Mark Bowes back in 31st. Joel Guy, 32nd. Chuck Dix and Chris Hogue in the rear of the field. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is your qualifying order. Looks like a great field out here. 30-plus drivers out here getting ready to take on this 2.6 mile speedway. It'll be a lot of fun out here, but you know, the best part of the race are the starts and the restarts. They are critical. You got to be very careful on those starts and restarts. Every great race begins with a good start and a good restart. Raymond Rittenauer, large in charge. Now, something about that start and restarts, they're done on leader's discretion, which means once that pace car does go in, leader can take off at his discretion. An opportunity to throw the competitors off and for a loop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to kick off 125. You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. This is not our normal 100-lap super speedway. This is 125 laps at Talladega. Drivers are able to bring 2 backup vehicles out here tonight because it is an extended race. Hopefully, they won't need any of those backup vehicles. We're going to see some great green flag action tonight, some awesome pit stops, and some very beautiful paint schemes out here tonight in the 4th annual Santadega. Raymond Rittenauer on that inside lane. Second truck on the outside lane, the Turkey Dega truck. Nice. We did have our 4th annual Turkey Dega, and that is Alan Larson sporting out the Turkey Dega theme. Well, that's okay. We all have turkey at Christmas. It's a good thing. Raymond Rittenauer, large and in charge.
Ready, green flag, green flag.
And away they go, ladies and gentlemen. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing in the 4th annual Turkey Dega. Nice start. Very good start out here. Number 68 of Rob Haynes, second position, staying a little bit off of the rear end of the number 29. And you know, that's going to be key out here tonight. You cannot get up onto the bumpers of the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras too tightly. You will spin them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Matthew Quick on that outside, getting a push from Alan Larson in the number 9 Turkey Dega. Zero, 1, and 0, showing their support for the 4th annual Santadega. That is the 0 of James Brown. All painted up and decked up and ready to go. And the 01 of John Pansula. Big shout out there to James and John for showing their support for the 4th annual Santadega. We are underway, off to a great start. Lee Staples in the number 64 side by side with Everett Fastlane Racing. Drivers have really got to keep in mind tonight, folks, 125 laps. Wow. Now, even under green flag racing, you're going to be looking at 120 minutes. 2 hours of these drivers sitting out in their cockpits. That will take wear and tear on you. Number 78 of Donald Stewart sitting back in position 11. Looking very nice in the Grinch truck. Donald Stewart definitely not being a Grinch tonight. If we finish tonight's race under green flag racing, Donald Stewart generously offering up $25 to first place, $15 to second, and $10 to third position. But you got to finish under green. A little bit of incentive there for the drivers to drive clean. Big shout out there to Donald Stewart. Paul Cohen in the number 51 on that inside lane. All over the rear end of the M&M's tracks. Matt Burkhart in the number 4 up in the upper lane. Getting onto the rear end of Alan Larson. Alan Larson driving the Cora Sunday money truck. showing his love for turkeys. James Brown, John Pansula, almost side by side. Everett Lane up there to give him a hand. Everett Lane started out here tonight in position 11, and he's already worked his way up to position 3. Raymond Rittenauer leading the first 4 laps of the 4th annual Santadega. Big shout out there to the fans on the KM8 TV chat. Hope you're enjoying tonight's race. Hopefully these drivers will put on a great show. Want to give a big shout out there to John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints and Designs, our sponsor for the 4th annual Santadega. Dropping on to the rear of the field, taking a look at some of our other drivers. We've got Chris Hogue in the number 6 in the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Truck. Big shout out there to Chris Hogue, up 3 spots to position 31. Alan Larson having a problem making an unexpected run there into pit row. Not sure what the deal is for the number 9. Chuck Dix back in 7th position. Up 4 spots to 29th from 33rd. Joel Guy out here tonight with us. Joel Guy showing a little bit of the Christmas spirit himself. Santa. We are all ready for the fat guy tomorrow night. Actually, it is tomorrow night. My goodness, Christmas Eve is tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen. Seems like just yesterday it was Halloween, I tell you what. Jason Russo in the number 14, all over the rear end of Paul Pellizier in the number 31. Kicking asphalt, and they are kicking asphalt back here in positions 26 and 27. Not in any huge hurry to get up there to the front of the pack, knowing they've still got 119 laps to get up there, well over an hour and 50 minutes. Michael Johnson in the AAA Motorsport pad. People against distracted driving. Onto the rear end of the number 79 of Joel Wood. Joel Wood and Sean Dewar out here tonight running for Old Schools. High expectations out here tonight for Sean Dewar and the number 79 of Joel Wood. David Casia, another member of Kicking Asphalt, in the number 20 onto the rear end of his teammate, Kevin Scott Nelson. All right, so there it is. We have got 4 Kicking Asphalt drivers in here tonight. Kevin Scott Nelson, David Casia, Paul Pellizier, and Jason Russo. That means they have got a 4 in 31 shot of their team bringing it home tonight in the 4th annual Santadega. Kevin Scott Nelson looking very sharp out there in the number 224, Rudolph. Rudolph going to be very busy tomorrow night. Richard Brose, our Thursday night sponsor, in the number 87, Richie B out of Dothan, Alabama. Nice looking truck being driven there by Richard Brose. Give him hell. Talking about his Demon Challenger that he just recently bought. And what a beauty that car is, and what a beauty that number 87 is, up to the rear end of Gary Whitmer in the number 52. Gary Whitmer up 9 spots from position 20 to position 29. Gary Whitmer showing his support for the holiday season in the number 52. Starting to get into just a little bit of heavy traffic there with Ivan Garcia in the number 72 and the number 27 of Danny Rudy. Big shout out there to Danny Rudy. Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling as we go 3 wide with slower traffic. John Woodruff in the number 117, side by side with the number 90 of Craig Kinney. And there is the heavy traffic, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Kinney sitting in 16th position, up to the rear end of the number 17 of Jake Ritchie, showing his love for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And around goes Craig Kinney onto the inside of the number 17 up to the number 78 of Donald Stewart. Now, Donald Stewart, he has won twice in a row. He won Thursday, sitting out there at Daytona in our Thursday Night Thunder Series. He won last night at Homestead in our Friday Night Flight Series. Can Donald Stewart do a threefer? A threefer, winning 3 races in a row. High hopes out here for Donald Stewart and the number 78 Grinch side by side with the number 64 up onto the rear end of Sean Dewar. Sean Dewar sitting in position 11 up from 19th. Lee Staples having a win in this week on Monday and a strong second place there on Tuesday. A lot of odds are in the favor for the number 78 and the number 64. Donald and Lee both having an extremely strong week out here this week. Paul Cohen in the number 51. Holding position, really nowhere for these drivers to go right now. Nobody wanting to take it 3 wide and risk an early caution. We are lap 11 of 125. Drivers were encouraged to put on a very good show tonight in the 4th annual Santadega. And so far the drivers are doing just that. But we are at least guaranteed 1 caution out here, folks. It is the nature of the beast at Talladega. That would indeed be a very Merry Christmas present if these drivers could run 125 laps of 200 mile per hour caution-free racing. Now, talking about pit stops, drivers are getting about a 30 to a 32 lap fuel load. So they will have to pit 4 times. One of them possibly being a short pit. To do tonight's 125 lap race on 3 pit stops, they would really have to be saving a total amount of 5 laps of fuel. It's about 2 gallons. Doesn't sound like a lot. But indeed, when you're only getting onto about a 16, 17 gallon tank, those 2 gallons, they're hard to save. Matt Burkhart onto the rear end of the Cora Chevy Silverado. Huge gap down onto that inside lane. Chris Voiles in the number 28 starting to close that gap up a little bit. Trying to work his way up to the number 68 of Rob Haynes. Matthew Quick on that outside lane. James Brown has made his way up to the front now, leading his 9th lap of the night. Raymond Rittenauer taking that lead back. Battle up front for Raymond, Rob Haynes, and James Brown. James Brown back up to 2nd position, getting a boost from Everett Lane. Raymond Rittenauer showing his support for pad. People against distracted driving onto the tailgate of the number 29 Silverado. Everett Lane holding a very solid and straight line there onto the rear end of James Brown. James Brown feeling very good tonight. James Brown, part of Cora, along with Alan Larson, Championship Online Racing Association. Drivers maintaining double file position. Nobody really wanting to push the issue of the 3 wide right now, knowing they've still got 110 laps to get her done. 10 laps away from what we normally run, as James Brown comes down in front of Raymond Rittenauer. Very close, though. That was a very close drop down for James Brown. James Brown leading lap 16 of 125, leading his 16th lap, or leading his 10th lap. Matthew Quick on that outside lane trying to push Everett Lane to the front. Side by side with positions 1 and 2 equal. Pretty sure if Everett Lane can get up there in front of James Brown, he'll probably try to come down. And there he goes. Everett Lane coming down in front of James Brown. And that'll drop Raymond Rittenauer back to 4th position. And round goes Everett Lane. No caution will fly. But unfortunately, Everett Lane going for a little bit of a spin. He's staying down below that yellow line. He needs to get back up on that track. Back up on track. Will the number 52 stop and give a hand to Everett Lane? Tough break there for Everett Lane. Back up to our race leaders. We are 3 wide up in front. Contact. They're beaten. They're banging, ladies and gentlemen. James Brown, Rob Haynes, Matt Burkhart. They are doing a little bit of a beating and a banging here in the 4th annual Santadega. Heavy damage onto the left side of the number 4, Matt Burkhart. James Brown showing a little bit of hood damage. Things heating up very early on. John Pansula down in front of his teammate James Brown. Going to try to give a little bit of draft there to James Brown. Raymond Rittenauer back up to 2nd position with Matthew Quick sitting in 1st place. Man, they were beaten. They were banging. Matt Burkhart's got some damage. James Brown has got some damage. Nothing serious. They're not out of this race. It's not really even going to affect their performance. But I tell you what, I held my breath and crossed my fingers right there. Rob Haynes coming up on that outside lane. Now, as I mentioned, Rob Haynes was the 2016 winner of the 3rd annual Santadega. Seems like a long time ago. Rob Haynes out here to do it again tonight. Right now, he is looking very good on lap 19 of 125. Jake Ritchie back in 10th position. We're going to have a caution back there in the rear of the field. Maybe yes, maybe no. There is trouble. Caution is out. And we're going to try to see if we can figure out what happened. Ooh, a disappearing vehicle. Number 14, Jason Russo, disappeared. Now, I'm not sure if that brought out that caution. That caution was up in front. Possibly the number 7 of Chuck Dix. Chuck Dix going for a spin for sure. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, it appears like Chuck Dix got in a little bit of trouble up into that high lane, hit the wall, and came down onto the 117 and the number 3. Tough break there for 4 drivers, and I do believe one of those drivers was Everett Lane up on 2 wheels. Tough break there for Everett Lane. Chuck Dix bringing out the first caution of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, John Woodruff in the number 117 caught up in it as well. Chuck Dick's doing everything he could to hang on to her up there. But unfortunately, no such luck. First caution of the night, lap 21. Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Quick, our race leader. Now comes up one of the hardest parts of racing, is to decide if you're planning on going into pit row. They've got 21 laps. They're about 9 laps out of a needed mandatory pit stop. Drivers heading off into pit row. Pretty sure that the drivers that were caught up into this first caution, they're going to probably have to take a reset. But as I mentioned, these drivers were giving an extra reset out here tonight. So they've got a total of 3 trucks total. A couple of drivers will be using that first backup truck now, leaving them 1. Rob Haynes making his way out of pit row. That'll put Michael Johnson out there in first position. Craig Kinney in second. John Pansula sitting in third. How about it, Rob Haynes? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I sure do. Scott, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good tonight. Just had a kind of a dreadful pit stop, but hey, I'll move on.
All right, well, I tell you what, you were the 2016 Santadega 3 winner. Are you back to keep your title tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to try, Scott, for KMA, get a win, and all the great sponsors you got going, and looking forward to tonight's race. I've been looking forward to it since I won last year, so thanks a lot, Scott, for putting this on, and we all appreciate it out here.
Now, do you have anybody out here that you're going to specifically be trying to get to or work with on a pit strategy with?
You know, right now I'm just learning who I can be around and what guys are being aggressive now, and learning what the truck's capable of doing here. The temperature's a bit cool, it's a bit cloudy, and I got a lot of fast trucks. So we'll see, Scott. I'll make some friends throughout the night and get this number 68 up front. All
right, good luck to you, sir, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Scott, and all the KMA watchers there. Thanks for watching.
Rob Haynes right now sitting back in 15th position with Michael Johnson. John Pansula out there on that front line. Sean Dewar, Matthew Quick, Craig Kinney, Donald Stewart sitting at our top 5 drivers out here tonight. James Brown sitting up there in position 7. James Brown looking very good. James Brown actually one of my favorite drivers, and we're going to talk to James Brown and see how James is feeling. How about it, James? Have you got a copy? James, have you got a copy? All right, one more try for James Brown. Have you got a copy, sir?
Oh, I guess I'm having an issue right now, Scott. But
there you are. How you feeling, sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting a little anxious here first in the beginning of the race, and I kind of cut across there with Mr. Rittenauer, and he made a nice save and saved us both. And I'm just going to settle in and settle this Cora Max Mount truck in, see if we can go 125 laps and see what happens there towards the end.
Well, I tell you what, we had you on camera when you were in that 3-wide situation, and that was a little scary. I just kind of crossed my fingers and closed my eyes. How was that for you in that 3-wide?
I did the same thing. Crossed my fingers and closed my eyes. No, that was very exciting. And you know, when you're up here with guys that you trust and guys you race with every week, and you know, we can handle those types of situations. And nobody panicked. I thought it was fun.
All righty, copy that. Tell me a little bit about the paint job. You and your buddy, I do believe it is John Pansula, matching trucks almost.
Yeah, John Pansula is the painter, and he's really coming into his own. And he made us a couple of Christmas trucks, and he's just going wild with the paints now, and he's really enjoying it.
All right, and real quick, tell me about that great Max Mount promotional offer you guys have going on.
Yes, Max Mount, which is the portable device holder for your vehicle, providing hands-free use. And right now they're having a promotion if you purchase it through the website for Christmas. I'm drawing a blank. You get a percentage off, and I can't remember right now what it is because I'm under here race conditions.
10% discount.
10% discount. Thank you. But appreciate KMA, and I just love running with you guys. And Scott, you keep up the good work, and thanks to all your staff members. And I want to take this time to wish everybody in the KMA audience a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, thank you, sir. Be safe, and a Merry Christmas to you. Hope Santa treats you right.
Thank you, sir.
James Brown is sitting back here in 7th position. Now, as James Brown mentioned, from now till December 26th, go to maxmount.com. Online only, folks. Maxmount.com. Enter the promotional code KORA10, KORA10. And not only will you get free shipping and handling on these great devices, you'll also get free shipping and handling and a 10% discount. Now, it is Christmas, and that is the way that KORA and MaxMount want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Give the gift of hands-free driving. And remember to check out PAD, People Against Distracted Driving, PADD.org. Check us out on the first Sunday of the month for our monthly Race for PAD, a time where we stop and reflect about the losses by distracted driving, pray for our loved ones, and try to educate the world a little bit more about the dangers of texting and driving. Big shout out there to Mike Kaleni, who lost his daughter Nikki in a distracted driving incident. Nikki was in the back seat, innocent victim of somebody who chose to pay more mind to their phone than to their driving circumstances. Back to Green Flag Racing. Getting ready to rock and roll. One more time. Lap 24 of 125. John Pansula, Sean Dewar out there on that front line. Donald Stewart sitting in 4th position. Lee Staples in 5th. 2 drivers we're going to keep our eyes on very close out here tonight. And they are off and away one more time. 100 laps to go. Now at this point in time, we are down to our usual amount of laps for a Talladega race. We've got through the first 25. Matthew Quick all over the rear end of the 01, then back up to the number 62. That'll move Lee Staples to position 4, second truck on that inside lane. That is exactly where Lee Staples wants to get to. Number 1 of Derek Glachaki sitting in 7th position, side by side with the number 29 of Raymond Rittenauer. Few drivers near the back actually opting to drift off of that main pack, possibly fearing that the big one is coming, and it may indeed be coming. But you take the chance of it going caution-free, or not caution-free, but that long green flag run. And if there isn't a caution, the drivers in the back, they will just keep losing time because the power is with the pack. The high speeds are with the pack. Richard Brose started in 23rd, currently up to 8th position. Richard Brose, our Thursday Night Thunder Daytona Speedway sponsor. Owners of Richie B's Pizza out in Dothan, Alabama. Big shout out there to Richie B. Gary Whitmer in the number 52. Big shout out there to the Whitmer family. Hoping they're having a very joyous and a Merry Christmas season. Gary Whitmer Jr. not able to join us tonight, but Gary Whitmer Sr. looking very good out here. John Woodruff sitting in 17th, losing 2 spots down to 15th. Caught up in that first caution. Good to see that John Woodruff has made it back out onto that track into 17th position. Ivan Garcia, the number 72, onto the tail end of that first pack. Not necessarily a place that I'd want to be. For one, you're in danger of being lost of that draft. Ivan Garcia needs to really tighten it up, get back up there onto the rear end of Gary Whitmer and Craig Kinney. He's going to be in danger of losing that draft, and if that's the case, then he's going to be a single driver out here. Secondly, well, if that caution comes out in front of Ivan Garcia, it's almost guaranteed that he may not survive it. So close that he really is just not going to have a lot of reaction time. Gary Whitmer in the same position on that outside lane. Jason Russo and Kevin Scott Nelson in the number 14 and a 224. Tandemed up, looking very sharp out here. Number 224 dressed up in his Christmas best. Big shout out there to Kevin Scott. Positions 21 and 22 for Jason and Kevin. Michael Johnson, position 23. Losing 2 spots, down 2 positions, 24. Paul Pellizer, Dave Acacia. Now these 4 drivers right here, Jason, Paul, Kevin, Dave, all drivers of Kicking Asphalt. Trying to get hooked up to get a 4-pack going on, but unfortunately, Dave Acacia 1 lap down. Dave Acacia is still content with riding around with Paul Pellizer. Paul Pellizer in the official KM8 TV truck, brought to you by Gearhead Paint Shop. Big shout out there to Ted Immenheiser with Gearhead Paint Shop, one of my favorite painters. Also a big shout out there to John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints and Designs. Number 117, John Woodruff, up on that outside lane without a partner. Possible partner coming up for John Woodruff. Jake Ritchie in the number 17. .04 not having the intention to go up to catch the 117. Straight line formation for a Kicking Asphalt, the number 31, 20, 14, and the 224. Straight line formation there for a Kicking Asphalt. Lap 32 of 125. 93 laps to go in the 4th annual Santadega. James Brown has dropped back to position 18. Coming up onto the smaller pack traffic. Single traffic of Craig Kinney. Craig Kinney quite slower than this oncoming pack, allowing that outside lane to rip by. 00 of James Brown, slowed up by the number 90. Two very distinct packs out here. You've got the lead pack, you've got the second pack. 3 wide with Jake Ritchie in the middle. Paul Pellizier up on that outside lane. We are 3 wide, lap 33. Jake Ritchie, the monkey in the middle here. Paul Pellizier on the outside. Kicking asphalt down to the middle lane. Paul Pellizier, the team owner for Kicking Asphalt, leading Dave, Jason, and Kevin Scott. Checking up with our race leaders. Richard Brose up to second position, side by side with Raymond Rittenauer. Raymond Rittenauer leading 7 laps out here tonight, being pushed on by Sean Dewar. Sean Dewar, possibly our biggest mover of the night so far, started 19th, currently up to 3rd. Donald Stewart sitting in 3rd position on that outside. Donald Stewart giving these drivers a reason to go caution free near the end of the race. Assuming that the race ends under green flag circumstances, Donald Stewart's going to give a little stocking money there for the top 3 drivers. Big shout out there to Donald Stewart. Raymond Rittenauer, Richard Brose, Sean Dewar, Donald Stewart, and Everett Lane and John Pansula battling it off for 5th and 6th. A little bit of a net code there for the number 87 of Richard Brose, and he is in trouble. We had those cameras on Richie B, and he disappeared temporarily. Unfortunately, an issue that these drivers have to deal with. Tough break there for Richard Brose. That'll give Raymond Rittenauer back that lead with the number 78 of Donald Stewart. Bringing it. Donald Stewart looking very good out there in the over-the-top paints and designs Christmas truck. Brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs and John Hedrick. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Donald Stewart trying to get her done on lap 37 of 125. Everett Lane got spun early on, has worked his way back up to 3rd position. Big shout out there to Everett Lane. Caution is out. A little bit of trouble up there in front with possibly Dave Acacia and Paul Pellizier. Right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to see what happened with Paul Pellizier. Paul Pellizier getting a little bit of a spin there from the number 20 of Dave Acacia, throwing Dave off into the pathway of the 004 Michael Johnson. And then Michael Johnson clipping Dave. Nice rollover there by the number 20. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look at that in slow motion action. Michael Johnson into the number 20. And the 20 into the air. Wow. Number 31 into the 117, into the 17. Tough break there for several drivers getting caught up into it. Not a huge caution. 4 definite drivers, 5 definite drivers caught up into that. But like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen, drivers have 2 resets to work with out here tonight, so all is not lost. Back up to live action with Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart leading them off into pit row. Nice looking little Grinch truck being driven there by the 78. We're going to talk to Donald Stewart as soon as he does get in and out of pit row. Donald Stewart showing his support for Loose Lugnuts Racing out here tonight. Making his way in and out of pit row. Nice pit stop there for Donald Stewart. No penalties. And appears Donald Stewart should be coming out right in about 6th position. How about it, Donald Stewart? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. I got you, Scott. How you doing?
Doing very good. Having a good time up here in the booth watching you guys running around at almost 200 miles per hour. What's it like down there on the track? 2 cautions and 39 laps. That's not too bad.
No, not bad at all. But I tell you what, it's tight racing and it's hard racing. I can't believe we went this far with only a couple cautions.
Well, and I tell you what, Don, I know you are a race leader out there, and I'm sure you are promoting this crowd out here in a good, positive direction. I hear you gave a little bit of incentive out here tonight for a green flag finish.
Yep. What I did was I offered the guys a $50 purse. It'll be split up in the top 3 finishers. It'll be $25 for first place, $15 for second, $10 for third. And there's one stipulation involved, is that we have to finish under a green flag conditions. And I felt a little jolly tonight, Scott, so I know we talked earlier about I was not going to pay nothing if it went under caution, but I told them I would give them half of the purse just because it's Christmas.
Very nice, very nice. Now, we're taking a look around that Chevy Silverado, and you've got some logos on there that I know you want to talk about. Tell me all about the 78 truck.
Yeah, John Hedrick over there at Over the Top Paints Designs painted up this truck for me tonight. Very generous of him. Absolutely awesome painter. And I'm here to support 2 leagues. I'm here to support KMA, and I'm here to support also Loose Lugnuts. They're both 2 great leagues and 2 great organizations, and unfortunately they had another race scheduled the same night we had ours scheduled. But I was committed to this race first, so that is why I am here.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. You take little Cindy Lou Who and that number 78, and you get her up there, and you're going to get you a 3-fer. You got 2 this week. I think you need 1 more.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yes, sir. I am going for 3 in a row, aren't I?
All right, good luck and Merry Christmas to you, Don.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Donald Stewart trying to get 3 in for the week in the Cindy Lou Who. The Grinch Stole Christmas. Over the Top Paints and Designs. Chevy Silverado. Beautiful looking truck right there being driven by. Ooh, Raymond Rittenauer up into that wall. Raymond Rittenauer, under caution, drove up into the wall. Not quite sure what the deal is with Raymond Rittenauer. Possibly having a little bit of steering failure. Matthew Quick getting far out of the way for Raymond Rittenauer. Matthew Quick back in 2nd position. Derek Glachaki sitting in 3rd. Lap 40 of 125 in the books. Not a bad race at all, ladies and gentlemen. High hopes out here tonight for all of these drivers. Gary Whitmer currently sitting back in position 14. Very nice truck right there being driven by Gary Whitmer Sr. How about it, Gary? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, we got you, Scott. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. I'm taking a look at the 52. You got Santa on the hood. You got a Christmas tree there on the side. Talk to me about the paint job.
Yeah, it's from Overtop Paints and Design. They do a great job, and I'm really loving this paint job.
I tell you what, you're looking really good out there. Are you loving the racing out here tonight? We've actually got in quite a few green flag laps.
Yeah, it's everybody's being pretty patient. It's running pretty smooth and having a lot of fun.
All right, and I tell you what, that is what's most important. How about a shout out there to the wife?
Oh yeah, we like to thank Kma for putting this on for us, and my wife Becky. I'm sure she's watching there on the other computer.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you, Gary Whitmer, and the whole Whitmer family, and Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Yep. Merry Christmas, Scott.
Gary Whitmer in the number 52. Drivers are getting ready to line up to go back to green flag racing. Matthew Quick out on that front line. Matthew Quick in the Racers for Christ, showing his support for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. RFC, Racers for Christ. Seems like a good cause to race for, especially this time of year. Raymond Rittenauer leading 10 laps out here tonight. Matthew Quick leading 6. Two drivers, hot and heavy. No other way to be, though. We're to go in-car camera with Everett Lane on this restart, and Everett Lane is going to show us how to get up there to that front line. "19 lead changes early on. With 84 laps to go, we could see that lead change count go high into the 40s, I would project. We've got at least 5 different drivers that have led laps. James Brown, Michael Johnson, John Pansula, Sean Dewar, Everett Lane, Donald Stewart, Matthew Quick, and Raymond Rittenauer. All drivers that have led laps in the 4th annual Santadega. Back to green flag racing. Pace cars in. In-car camera with Everett Lane onto the rear end of Donald Stewart for position 5. Donald Stewart shifting up through those gears, crossing that start-finish line at about 131 miles per hour. Dropping down with Donald Stewart. Dropping back up. Coming around, Matthew Quick on that outside lane. And we are 3 wide at on the backstretch, 3 wide with Everett Lane and Donald Stewart. They are heating it up, ladies and gentlemen. 3 wide action up there in that front line. Almost 4 wide. I know the fans want to see 4 wide, but I'm not sure these drivers want to see 4 wide. Donald Stewart in the middle of Everett Lane and the number 89, Matthew Quick. John Pansula on that outside lane. 3 wide action here on lap 43 of 125. Donald Stewart making his way past Raymond Rittenauer, tied up there in front, bumper to bumper, nose to tail, front end to front end, but inside lane prevailing. Donald Stewart not having that horsepower to work his way around. Raymond Rittenauer drivers have settled back down into 2 wide situation, but I think during the middle of the pack, caution is out. Looking at Paul Pellizier. do believe Paul Pellizier was caught up into that. We'll have to take a look and see what happened with Paul. Paul taking a left turn, a right turn, up into that wall. Right there it is, ladies and gentlemen. No contact with Dave Acacia. No contact whatsoever with Dave Acacia. Unfortunately, getting into Michael Johnson and the number 3. I think Paul Pellizier, that had to have been a steering situation. I mean, there's just no other explanation as to why the number 31 of Paul Pellizier took a right turn into the wall. Now, unfortunately, taking the number 3 of Joseph Rice and Michael Johnson in the 004 with him. Back-to-back cautions. Possible mechanical failure for Paul Pellizier. Now, we do know that Paul early on was having some module problems with his personal computer. We're going to talk to Dave Acacia and see if we can find out what happened with his teammate Paul Pellizier. Dave Acacia staying out, hoping to get that free pass. How about it, Dave Acacia? Have you got a copy?
Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm doing very good, but I am a little concerned for your teammate and my friend Paul Pellizier. He took a pretty hard right-hand turn into that wall directly in front of you. You didn't touch him. Nobody touched him. What happened?
His screen froze and he couldn't see anything.
Well, that'll do it every time. I tell you what. So he's going down the road, and basically somebody just threw a blanket over his windshield.
Yep. He's done for the night, and he has to reboot. And you know, it happens to people every once in a while.
All right, copy that. Unfortunate break there for a kick in asphalt. Now, you've still got 3 members out here. You have still got yourself, Kevin Scott Nelson, and Jason Russo. And you guys have been playing thicker than thieves tonight, even though you're 3 laps down. Talk to me about what your game plan is.
Well, right now I'm working to get on the lead lap, which I'm just getting the lucky dog now, so that'll put me 2 down. I just have to work hard and get back up there, and I'm going to help my teammates, and we're going to move up. Plenty of time left.
All righty, and we do usually see you guys up there in the front, but not till later on in the race. So far, a pretty good race. 3 cautions, lap 45, 125. Good luck to you, Dave Acacia.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, so that is a scoop from Dave Acacia. Paul Pellizier having a frozen screen. Now, that's approximately the equivalent of somebody throwing a blanket on top of your windshield. We have time for one more quick driver interview. How about it, Danny Rudy? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
Wanted to give you a big, happy, Merry Christmas. And this time of year, something that a lot of people need to make sure they're checking out, the ability to stay warm. Now, I understand you're the man to see about that. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been snowing here today, so that means it's pretty cold outside. So everybody needs to check out the furnace every now and then. Make sure they stay safe, stay warm. It's best to fix it before it gets broken.
Now, you own a small business and can take care of that. Talk to me a little bit about the heating and cooling business you operate.
Well, I've been in business since 1993, so I've been around a little while, seen a lot of different things. So we do furnaces, heat pumps, air conditioners, residential, commercial, industrial. You know, we're a small company. We have 17 employees. So we just had a great Christmas party. What else you need to know?
What your plan is for the rest of the night.
Rest of the night is for me to cruise right along here and see if I can't do some onesie twosies up to towards the front and take the lead at the end.
Alrighty, copy that. I like that. Onesies and twosies. out here on lap 46. All right, Merry Christmas to you, Danny, and good luck to you.
All right, Merry Christmas, buddy. Thanks. Bye.
Dan's Top Notch, heating and cooling. Number 27, Danny Rudy. Dan's Top Notch, heating and cooling. Raymond Rittenauer out there on that front line along with Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart leading 1 lap. Raymond Rittenauer leading 15 laps out here tonight. So far, Raymond dominating. Big shot out there too. Raymond Rittenauer. Drivers will be getting back to green flag racing. Now those cautions were back-to-back, and oftentimes when there is an odd failure, such as what we witnessed there with Paul Pellizier, it puts everybody on their toes. They're going to be a little bit on guard, I think, on this restart, and hopefully we're going to see some long green flag runs coming up. I'd like to see some green flag pit stops. How about you folks? Green flag pit stops at Talladega. Hard to come by, but when they do come, they're definitely a lot of fun. John Pansula started out 7th, currently is in 5th position in a very nice spot. Probably wouldn't mind getting up there about 2 or 3 more spots, but not in a bad spot. Going to be side by side with Chris Voiles. Chris Voiles in the number 28 representing Maximum Velocity Racing. In the Hardy Mobile. Reminds me of Mr. Wally Tierheimer, employed by Hardee's. We used to always say Wally rode around in a Hardy Mobile. Chris Voiles started 5th, currently is in 6th position. Doing pretty good out here. Going to take a look at our quick running order. Everett Lane in 7th position. Lee Staples in 8th. Last year's winner, Rob Haynes, into 9th position. Gary Whitmer Sr. back into 13th. James Brown feeling good in position 12. Jake Ritchie back in 19th. David Casey, a first driver, and he is 2 laps down. First driver lap down, 2 laps down. Jason Russo, Kevin Scott Nelson kicking asphalt, 23rd and 24th. So far, so good for the boys from Kicking Asphalt. Back to green flag racing this time. As I mentioned, starts and restarts are critical to be done correctly. See how the boys do this time. A little bit of a gap there with John Pansula, and Matthew Quick needs to tighten it up a little bit. Drivers get a better start if they are nose to tail. Raymond waiting for that green. Chris Voiles probably not as close as he'd like to be onto that outside lane. That's going to allow the inside lane, John Pansula and Everett Lane, to get a little bit of a run. He'll catch him, just not quite as fast. John Pansula, Everett Lane on that inside lane getting a big run off of the draft of Raymond and Matthew Quick. Rob Haynes, 5th truck on the inside lane. Everett Lane going up. Everett Lane is up. Between Derek and Chris. That is the break that Chris Voiles was wanting. Rob Haynes in a very nice spot here on lap 48 of 125. Lee Staples representing Black Talon Racing. LA Graphics paint job on the Silverado number 64. Edward Bray not able to join us out here tonight as he is halfway across the country enjoying a little bit of family time with his loved ones. And ladies and gentlemen, that is what Christmas is really all about, enjoying your family time with your friends and family and your loved ones. Thought I saw a flasher up there in the front. Sometimes drivers will encounter a little bit of a net issue and they'll blink. No, you're not blinking too long. It is the trucks that might be blinking. And if that happens, that can be very dangerous for the drivers. Drivers still relatively close together here at lap 50. Long way from what we call go time. Raymond Rittenauer, Donald Stewart. Matthew pretty much dominating out here tonight. John Pansula looking very sharp out there in that Christmas truck. Gonna have a caution. Looking at the number 17 of Jake Ritchie. Not sure if he was caught up into it, but the number 4 of Matt Burkhart up there in front of Jake Ritchie. Number 4 coming down onto the number 51. Several drivers caught up into that. Jake Ritchie caught up into it. A little bit of an aftermath there for the number 4 of Matt Burkhart. At least 3 drivers will be totaled out, possibly ending their night out here tonight. The number 224, the number 4, heavily damaged. Jake Ritchie in the number 17, heavily damaged. Sean Dewar off into the grass. Not much damage on the number 62 though. Kevin Scott Nelson, that is another member of Kicking Asphalt, possibly down for the count. Matt Burkhart bringing out our 4th caution of the night in lap 52. The drivers had a really great start out here tonight. But unfortunately, 3 almost back-to-back cautions, lowering that mood out there on this super speedway track. John Pansula opting to stay out under caution. How about it there, Crazy Mike? John Pansula, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got a copy.
All right, well, what's going on out here? We all got off to a great start, and then all of a sudden now, bang, 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 3 back-to-back cautions. What's up?
Well, I don't know. Fortunately, I've been up around the front here most of the race, and some of that's been happening behind me. I think we're having an issue here with iRacing connectivity. Frames per second are relatively lower than normal, as Joel said. So there might be some lagging. In fact, during that last green, there was some heavy lagging up to my right side there, and I had to pay close attention there and warn everybody.
Alrighty, copy that. Good information. And the net code, the whole lagging issue is not something we want to see out here, especially in an important race like tonight. Well, you made it up there to the front. You have been holding a top 10 pretty much all night. You're doing a great job. I guess you're going to stay up there?
Yeah, I'd like to. That would be the ticket. I sure would like to win one here. I've gotten a few thirds and a couple seconds and a couple top fives and been doing real good over here. I just love to win one. That would be nice.
Well, you got good help up there. You've got Everett up there with you. You got James Brown sitting in 4th place. Maybe the three of y'all can team her up and get her done tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, we're hooked up in team speak here, and we're trying to run a strategy here, especially during pit stops. I can't tell you everything there, but you know, we're doing some quick stops there and trying to maintain positions up front so we don't get caught in the back there in the big one.
All right, sounds like you got a plan. Good luck to you, John Pansula.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
John Pansula out there in 1st position. Chris Voiles sitting in 2nd position. How about it, Chris? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, Scott, what's going on, man?
Now, you're looking pretty good out there in the Hardy Mobile. You kind of reminded me of Wally a little bit.
Well, you know, we are kind of teammates, and we try to run a race about the same.
All right, well, you made it up there to 3rd position. Tell me your thoughts on tonight's race so far. I'm hearing there might be some internal issues with the server.
Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit laggy, but it's not real bad. My thoughts is we still got a lot of race left, so I'm just going to try to ride.
All right, copy that. And have you got any special plans for Christmas this year? Talk to me a little bit about what your plans are over the next 2 days.
I just celebrate with my family. That's my biggest plan. Spend time with them.
And has Santa been good to you so far this year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Santa's been great.
All right, good luck to you, Chris Voiles.
Thanks, Scott.
Chris Voiles out there working along with Matt Burkhart and his friend, we call him Whitey, Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson back there in the 004, showing his support for Pad. Big shout out there to Pad, ladies and gentlemen. People against distracted driving. How about it, Michael Johnson? Have you got a copy?
10-4, Scott. How you doing tonight?
Doing good, Michael. Now, the reason I brought you up here, it is a very, very busy time out there on the road, and you are a huge advocate of the dangers of distracted driving. Talk to us about how all that plays into the Christmas season and the heavy traffic we encounter.
It encounters hard. I do a lot of traveling for work, and I see it all the time now. It's our Iowa Patrol is out hard and heavy looking for distracted driving and all types of distracted driving. So my suggestion is do not do it.
All righty, good advice there from Michael Johnson in the Pad truck. Love the design. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. You have a good night and Merry Christmas.
Love that background music back there being played by Michael Johnson. Paul Cohen sitting back in position at 12. Big shout out there to the fans on the KMA TV chat. Lee Ryerson, Rednecks Racing. Mr. Dargett out there, along with Karen Staples. Well, if Karen's out there, we got to check in on Mr. Lee Staples. Now, Lee has had a pretty good night so far. He's been up there in the front, has not led any laps yet, but he is sitting very strongly into position 14th. Started out tonight in 8th, missing his teammate Edward Bray, but Lee ready to get her done. Lee having a very good night out here on Monday and Tuesday with the 1st and 2nd position at Homestead. Lee would love to get a 1st place tonight. It can be done. Lap 55 of 125 laps, 70 to go in the 4th annual Santadega underneath our 4th caution of the night. Drivers lined up, double file. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. John Pansula, Everett Lane up on that front line. Lee Ryerson out there on that KMA TV chat. Lee, we're missing you, buddy. I hear that you have been moving, a little busy and occupied. Need to get done and get back out here, Lee. Big shout out there to Doug Turner with Rednecks Racing. Karen Staples rooting on her husband, Lee Staples, from the parking lot, checking in on Lee. Pace car is in. Very impressed out here tonight with Everett Lane. John Pansula, James Brown, the matching trucks in the 01 and the 00. All three of these drivers on the same radio communication channel. Gary Whitmer Sr. has worked his way up to 5th position. Matthew Quick with a big move upstairs. John Pansula with a big move upstairs. Matthew Quick in a position to go 3 wide, backing it back down. Number 3 of Joseph Rice. Green truck on the outside lane, holding back. John Pansula, Everett Lane. James Brown trying to get all three of those drivers up there in front past the inside lane. Not quite going to happen, but there are they going down? John Pansula trying to go down, but Everett Lane not quite clear. Plenty of time now, but they may as well go on and drag James Brown with them. Don't think they're going to be able to pull James Brown around the number 28 of Chris Voiles. Chris Voiles picking up momentum. Rob Haynes giving a little bit of a boost to the number 52 of Gary Whitmer. James Brown almost clear. Can he clear him? He is clear. Will they go down? Down, down, down they go. Well, I tell you what, slap me silly and call me Charlie. I said it couldn't be done, but they did it. These three drivers out here representing Cora. 3 drivers on that outside lane passing up the inside lane, being led by Chris Voiles. Chris Voiles up a little bit. Chris Voiles back down. Nobody up in that outside lane to go to. Chris Voiles all over the rear end of the 00 of James Brown. He's feeling good. That was very impressive. Very impressed with John Pansula, Everett, and James Brown. What a move. Gary Whitmer sitting in 5th place on that inside lane. Ivan Garcia up to position 6. Ivan Garcia celebrating his 73rd birthday this past week. 73 years young for Ivan Garcia in the number 72. Big shout out there to my good friend Ivan, longtime member of KMA Racing. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet out there on that track. Rob Haynes, last year's winner, still in the top 10. 6th position for Rob Haynes. Now this is going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. They are bearing down quite fast onto the lap traffic of David Casia. Now, as a general rule of thumb, drivers would like the lap traffic to head up into that outside lane, allowing the faster traffic control of the 2 bottom lanes. We'll see what happens as they approach the slower traffic of David Casia. Nice turnout tonight for the 4th annual Santadega. KMA TV will be off track and off screen for Sunday and Monday to enjoy the holidays, but we'll be returning Tuesday in our Tuesday night truck series. David Casey going high. What a trooper there, David Casey. Hopefully David Casey can find a spot to slide into. Jason Russo not allowing Dave to get down. He's got too much momentum. Maybe Kevin Scott might give him a little bit. David Casey up onto that outside lane, considerably slower, not able to grab that draft. Side by side with the number 91 of Joel Guy. Dave Acacia has got draft. Good job for Dave Acacia. 3 laps down for Dave Acacia. 23 drivers out on this lead lap. Michael Johnson being the final driver on the lead lap, pushing on the rear end of Joel Guy. Not hard pushing. Joel nor Michael not really interested in getting up into the thick of things yet. Not quite to the halfway point. Plenty of time to still get her done. The most important thing right now is just to stay with that pack, stay with that draft. Joel Guy, Michael Johnson, and David Acacia hanging off the rear end. 3 wide action up there in the middle. Back down to double file. Sean Dewar in the number 79. And the number, or Sean Dewar in the 62. And Joel Wood in 79, representing Old School Motorsports. Teaming up here on lap 62. Matching trucks, therefore, Old Schools. Derek Glichocki on the inside lane. Raymond Rittenauer has fallen back to position 14th. Raymond Rittenauer leading 18 laps out here tonight, doing a great, awesome job. Derek very tight onto the rear end of Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia in line with Gary Whitmer Sr. Gary in 7th position in the number 52. Keeping a nice respectable distance off of the rear end of the number 3, the Hardy vehicle. Number 3, side by side, Joseph Rice. Matthew Quick sliding down to that inside lane. Matthew Quick back up to that outside lane, shifting the number 3 upstairs momentarily. Rob Haynes, last year's winner of the 3rd annual Santadega, up to position 2. Rob Haynes in a very, very good spot right now. Exactly where he wants to be as we are past our halfway point. Rob Haynes on the outside, going to do a little bit of racing here with Everett Lane. Rob Haynes dropping back a little bit. Everett Lane, John Pansula, James Brown lined up for positions 1, 2, and 3. What a race out here, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers have settled in and found their groove, and there goes Rob Haynes and Matthew Quick on that outside lane. Rob Haynes down in front, wanting to lead his first lap of the night. I guarantee you this, Rob Haynes down on that inside lane. He will not get out of that inside lane now that he has gotten up there to position 1. That would be very impressive for a driver to win a yearly race twice. That would be extremely impressive. Rob Haynes giving it his best shot in the Google number 68 Chevy Silverado. 26 lead changes. Ladies and gentlemen, what a night out here in the 4th annual Santadega. Big shout out there to John Hedrick, Over the Top Paints and Designs, for being our sponsor for the night. Everett Lane down in front. Rob Haynes giving that bumper to the number 24 of Everett, Fast Lane Racing. John Pansula in 3rd. Just a riding. He's just a riding. No particular hurry. James Brown, John Pansula, both representing Cora Championship Online Racing Association. Gary Whitmer sitting back in 6th position, being rooted on by his lovely wife, Becky. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a special situation coming up with Pad involving Becky Whitmer. Handmade, custom-made Pat quilt will be going up on the auction block. It'll be a item that I myself will be bidding on. Becky Whitmer hand makes quilts. I myself have a Kma TV quilt, very warm, very lovely, black and red. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer. I have seen pictures of this pad quilt. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, to Facebook and the Kma TV broadcast. Once that quilt goes up on that auction block, we will tell you how to be involved into it. Matthew Quick trying to make a run on that outside lane, along with the number 3 of Joseph Rice and the number 79 of Joel Wood. Outside lane gaining momentum. And here comes the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Lap 70 of 125, Kevin Scott Nelson trying to make his way to the front of the pack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick break, but we're going to keep you tuned in with that KMA TV 4x4 in screen. We'll be right back. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, in-car action with Kevin Scott Nelson. Going to jump up there, take a look at Rob Haynes. Now this is the view that you want to see. Rob Haynes up there in front, leading his 5th lap of the night. Nothing but absolute clean air up there in front for Rob Haynes. Rob Haynes exactly where he wants to be. And look at this pack, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of 3 wide back there in the back, but primarily double file racing going on. What a great race out here tonight, folks. So far, so good. Lap 74 completed of 125, 28 lead changes, 4 cautions totaling out 11 laps. Not a bad night at all. Three wide near the rear of the pack. Green flag pit stops. Can it be? Can it be? We've got green flag pit stops for Gary Whitmer Sr., for John Pansula. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a Christmas present out here tonight. Green flag pit stops. Watching the 0-1 of John Pansula. Chris Boyles in pit row for green flag pit stops. Awesomeness. Absolute awesomeness. Chris Boyles on his way out of pit row. Everett Lane on his way out of pit row. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you were falling asleep, that woke you up. Sean Dewar out there on that front line, working with Matt Quick, Raymond Rittenauer, Donald Stewart. Second truck down onto that inside lane. Donald Stewart side by side with Raymond Rittenauer. Matthew Quick leading his 6th lap of the night. Sean Dewar leading 7. Green flag pit stops. Awesomeness. Absolute awesomeness. Raymond Rittenauer 3 wide with James Brown in the 00. Three wide action really starting to develop out here. That 3 wide action was as they went around Everett Lane, who had just pitted. Now that will put the drivers that have pitted 1 lap down. Everett Lane, Chris Boyles, John Pansula, James Brown, and Gary Whitmer 1 lap down due to a green flag pit stop. Contact in front with Ivan Garcia. Caution is out. Ivan Garcia at the number 72, getting very, very close with the number 79. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to back that up a little bit. Look at that in slow-mo. That's hard to tell. That is hard to tell right there. 79, number 3, Ivan Garcia. Tough break there for Ivan. Ooh, tough break for Lee Staples. Tough break for a lot of drivers right there. That was a heartbreaker. Front 7 drivers surviving. A couple of drivers able to get through it. Do we call this one here the big one? It's definitely not as big as what it could have been. Ooh, tough break. But what a spin. What, he's still spinning. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at that number 79 dancing up on his nose. You know what, folks? We're going to back that up one more time. That was so good. We're going to go in-car camera. In-car camera with that 79. We're going to go for a ride with the 79. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. I don't think Joel Wood thinks that's real awesome, but I tell you what a replay screenshot right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tough break there for Joel Wood. Lap 79 of 125, the big one, 46 laps to go. Green flag pit stops, trucks flying through the air, thanking their rocket ships. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. But that will be the 5th caution of the night. 5 cautions in 79 laps. It's not too terrible. But that caution lap is getting up there a little high for my taste. Lee Staples in the number 64. Catching the field back in 12th position. Raymond Rittenauer sitting in 5th. Gonna get a chat in with Raymond Rittenauer. How about it, Raymond? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, sir. You were up there dominating for a little bit. Then you dropped back. Then you got back up there, did some more dominating. Then you dropped back. And right now you're in 5th place. What's going on out there with you, brother?
It's been a roller coaster. Been pretty clean, though. Some pretty good racing on.
Now, what is the attitude down there on the track? You know, it's a Christmas race. We're all supposed to be having a good time, but we are up to that 5th caution. We've still got about 45 minutes of green flag racing to get her done. Are the drivers beginning to get a little tired?
They might be. They might be, being as it's a long race, but I'm sure things are going to get a little dicey here pretty soon.
Now, looking at your paint job, paint the yellow CCM. Tell me all about those logos on that number 29.
I thought I was running another one, but yeah, it's CCM's a hockey brand. They make hockey equipment, and Paint the Yellow is another league that I ran in last year.
I see you're showing your support for Pat on the rear end of the Chevy Silverado. We definitely appreciate that.
10-4.
Any special plans out there for Christmas?
I'm off work. I'm just going to sit and relax with the family, and that's about it.
All right, there you go. And maybe we'll see you up there doing some donuts tonight, because so far, leading 18 laps, you are the man, large and in charge.
Yeah, hopefully I can finish it off here.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Raymond Rittenauer leading 18 laps out there in position 4. Going to take a quick look at our running order. Matthew Quick out there in front. Rob Haynes, last year's winner, position 6. Lee Staples in 11th. Gary Whitmer 15th. And Joel Guy in 16th. Chris Voiles. Now, he was just up there at the front just a few laps ago. Right now, back in position 20th. Everett Lane, 1 lap down. David Casey, 3 laps down. Few drivers out for the evening. Jason Russo sitting in 8th position. Ivan Garcia in the number 72. Still doing a good job back here in 13th. Jake Ritchie in the number 17. In position 7. How about it, Jake? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So another driver had mentioned that it was kind of an up and down night. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Oh, it's been I think it's been a pretty good night, even though I've been in 2 accidents tonight. There's been some technical problems going on tonight, and it's just been fun for me now that I'm up here in the front. Maybe we can stay out of trouble.
Talk to me a little about the truck. I'm guessing you like Reese's peanut butter cups.
I do. They're my favorite candy. And I thought I would run this race, throw on some Christmas rims and some Christmas numbers, so be out there and have be a part of it.
All right, well, I tell you what, you're looking very good out there. Any friends or family or sponsors you want to speak of?
My mom, my family's out there watching me in the living room right now. And I want to thank KMA for joining this race, and thank you for broadcasting it.
All right, looking good, Jake Ritchie. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Scott. Have fun.
A little bit of a feedback situation there with Jake Ritchie. But he's looking very sharp out there, up there into position 7. Rob Haynes in 6. Derek Glichocki sitting up in position 5. Matthew Quick, the man of the minutes here on lap 81 of 125 underneath our 5th caution of the night here in the 4th annual Santadega. Tonight's race brought to you by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor, sitting back in 8th position. After the first of the year, folks, beginning on Monday, January 7th, we're going to kick off our new season. We'll be starting off that new season a 12-week race course, 12 races, 4 points. Broadcasted on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We're going to be starting it off at Atlanta. Ending it out on Texas. No Speedway Series. Going to be running some Charlotte, Chicagoland, Phoenix, Vegas, Texas, Richmond, Indianapolis. Going to be a very, very fun season. Drivers very impressed with the season we've put together. That will be kicking off on January 7th, 2018. Hard to believe the new year is just, 7 days away? Hard to believe Christmas is 2 days away. Hope you are enjoying this time with your friends and with your family. Hope your Christmas shopping is done. If not, you need to get out there tomorrow. You've got less than 72 hours, less than 48 hours. Christmas is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Merry Christmas to yours and your family from KMA TV and KMA Racing. Drivers lined up, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. We did see some Green Flag pit stops tonight, so that was pretty awesome. Donald Stewart up to position 2. Donald Stewart going for the threefer. Winning on Thursday, winning on Friday. Can he win on Saturday? That would definitely be an achievement. Rob Haynes going for his 2nd Santadega win. Position 7. Catching up with that KMA TV chat, I want to give a big shout out there to Michelle McMaster Eisenhower. Feeling a little bit under the weather after a trip to the hospital. We'll be keeping you in our prayers this time of year, Michelle. Hope you get to feeling better. Hope Santa's good to you and everybody else. Pace cars in. On the rear end of Rob Haynes in the Google number 68, side by side with the number 1 of Derek Glechaki. Nice start. 32 lead changes. I had predicted that we would be upwards of 40 lead changes. I'm still predicting that. Rob Haynes wanting this very, very badly. Possibly even as badly as Donald Stewart wants it. Hard to get 3 wins in a row out here. But so far, Donald doing a great job. Lap 83 of 125, 41 laps to go. Looking at about maybe 38 more minutes if we go green flag racing. But with 41 to go, these drivers will have to make one more pit stop. Matthew Quick on the inside lane. Racers for Christ. Matthew Quick probably doing a little bit of praying right now in that Racers for Christ Chevy Silverado. He's out there on that front line. Still a huge amount of drivers out here in the 4th annual Santadega. Appreciate the fans tuning in with us. Drivers putting on a pretty good show. I know the painters did a great job. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Any other painters that I have forgot to mention or failed to mention, big shout out to all the painters. It takes a lot of time to paint up these vehicles, but I tell you what, the eye candy is absolutely delicious. Donald Stewart in 3rd position. Sean Dewar, position 2. Donald Stewart, position 2. Just a back and forth battle between these front 5 drivers. Donald Stewart on that outside lane. Sean Dewar not letting go of the rear end of Matthew Quick. As I like to say, tighter than a hair in a biscuit. Sean Dewar hanging on to the rear end of Matthew Quick like a tick hanging on to a coon dog. One of my favorite sayings right there, folks. Probably ought to change it for tonight. Maybe I should say Sean Dewar hanging on as tight as Santa hangs on to the sleigh reins hooked up to Rudolph. Matt Burkhart, Derek Glechaki up to 3rd position. Straight line formation for our top 5. Donald Stewart dropping back to position 6th. Danny Rudy making his way. Danny Rudy up to position 7. Rob Haynes in position 8. Jason Russo, position 9. Jason's been doing one hell of a damn job tonight, folks. 224, Kevin Scott Nelson still in it. Kevin Scott Nelson up to position 5. And the 224 Rudolph. Three wide action. Donald Stewart in the middle. In the middle. In the middle. Derek leading Donald Stewart. Rob Haynes following Donald Stewart. Lee Staples on the inside of all this three-wide action. Michael Johnson in the middle. Michael Johnson, position 9. Being pushed on by the 0-1 of John Pansula. Jake Ritchie on that outside lane, working along with the number 29 of Raymond Rittenauer. Number 51, Paul Cohen on the inside. Paul Cohen showing some severe damage onto the rear end of the number 51, looking like he backed into a telephone pole. Not seemingly slowing him down, though. Drivers settling back to double file. You know, that three-wide action, it's a lot of fun, folks. But I tell you what, you get down into that in-car, a three-wide action, it'll scare you. You have to be in complete control of your vehicle. And the thing is, folks, you get up there in the tower, you get up there in the chopper, and you're thinking, man, you can go 4 wide, you can go 5 wide, and you're absolutely right. But when you get behind the wheel, you're a lot closer than what you think. And a lot of drivers will panic. In-car camera with Danny Rudy. Danny Rudy going for a ride. Hang on to her, Danny. Danny, hang on to her. Boom, upside down all around. Not sure if that caution will fly as Danny Rudy was off that track. No caution. Ladies and gentlemen, let's back that up very quickly to see what happened with Danny Rudy. A little bit of a hook there by Jason Russo. Jason Russo into the 0-4. Upside down all around. Talking about a little Saturday night disco there for the 27. Donald Stewart trying to lead his 5th lap of the night, but Derek Glachaki out there in front leading his 1st lap of the night. No caution will fly, but Danny Rudy may be out for the night. Now, the reason that caution did not fly, Danny Rudy was well off that track. He was over there on the left side of the track in the runaway zone. Not a threat to that field. Race officials decided he is not a threat. No caution will fly. Lap 91 of 125 in the 4th annual Santadega. Also want to give a big shout out there to Doug Turner. Now I know that Doug Turner does some painting for the boys over at Southeast Motorsports. Not sure if anybody out here is running any of Doug Turner's paints, but I have seen his work. And I tell you what, folks, there are 3 major painters that I know of out here within iRacing. One of them is John Hedrick. We've all talked about John Hedrick most of the night. He is the sponsor of tonight's race. Doug Turner, another huge painter, has painted up some stuff for the boys over at Southeast, Jack Watts and company. And I tell you what, that black Jack Watts number 77 truck put out by Doug Turner, I love it. Absolutely love it. And we've got a 3rd painter out here, one of my favorite painters, Gearhead Paint Shop, Ted Immenheiser. All about the skulls and the black. Gearhead Paint Shop, a man after my own heart. Gearhead Paint Shop, Doug Turner, and John Hedrick taking care of the boys. Big moves happening out here by Everett Lane and Derek, and we are 3 wide is the number 62. Sean Dewar tries to go 3 wide, but he's got nobody to go with him. Chris Boyles all over the rear end of the number 68. Rob Haynes in 1st place, leading his 8th lap of the night. Now, interesting situation right here, folks. We've got to explain this one here out. Look up here at the front. And we've got Everett Lane with Fast Lane Racing up here in the front. But you know what? Everett is a lap down. Everett Lane is up here in the front line. He is technically in first position, but Everett Lane is 1 lap down. So Everett is not our race leader. Our race leader is at number 78. Oh, the 68 is loose. Hang on to her, number 68, Rob Haynes, 3 wide action. Chris Voiles up that middle. Derek up that middle. Number 62, Sean Dewar, going to catch on to the rear end of the number 68 of Rob Haynes. Well, thank you, driver. Big shout out there for Sean Dewar, giving Rob Haynes the catch and the gift that Rob Haynes did need. Now back to what I was saying. Donald Stewart is actually our race leader in that number 78. Everett Lane is 1 lap down. Now as soon as Donald Stewart passes Everett Lane, that will put Everett Lane 2 laps down. So right now Everett Lane on the tail end of the lead pack. Not a lap down yet, but once Donald Stewart passes Everett Lane, he will fall 1 lap down. Now what that means is if that caution were to come out behind Donald Stewart, Everett Lane would have to just keep driving. He would catch the tail end of the field, and he'd be right back on that lead lap. So right now, Everett Lane, it is urgent that he stay in front of Donald Stewart. And Donald Stewart has no problem with that. Everett Lane, one of the finer drivers, there's a reason they call him Fast Lane. Everett Lane doing a great job out here tonight, being a team player, working with Donald Stewart. Lap 96 of 125, 29 to go. I have a feeling, folks, we're going to be seeing some green flag racing and pit stops for the entirety of tonight's race. Definitely want to see one more round of green flag racing. We are 3 wide with Chris Voiles, 4 wide with the lap traffic. Unbelievable, folks. 38 lead changes. I had predicted 40. We are at 38 with 28 laps to go. Can we see 50 lead changes? We're going to probably see 40. I'm pretty sure we're going to see 40. Can we see 50? I have never seen 50 lead changes. Everett Lane leading Donald Stewart to his 10th lead lap. Rob Haynes leading 8. Sean Dewar leading 7. Answering a question for Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, wondering where one of her favorite drivers is, Mark Jackson. Well, I know the answer to that, Michelle. Mark Jackson at a family function tonight for Christmas could not make tonight's race. Mark Jackson out there hanging out with family. We are all missing Mark, and he is in our thoughts. Would love nothing more than to see Mark out here, but it is Christmas and family obligations. Ringing that bell for Mark Jackson. Number 62, Sean Dewar onto the rear end of Rob Haynes. Kevin Scott Nelson with Kickin' Asphalt hooked up one more time with Jason Russo. David Casey at 3 laps down. Unfortunately, the leader of Kickin' Asphalt, Paul Pellizier, out for the night. High-speed action out here at Talladega. Raymond Rittenauer leading 18 laps, tied with Matt Quick for the most laps led. Green flag pit stops coming into play. 4 drivers heading off into pit row 4. Green flag pit stops. Kevin Scott Nelson, Jason Russo into pit row. Jason Russo and Kevin Scott Nelson making their way out of pit row. Green flag pit stops. Good job, drivers. Lap 100 of 25, 100 of 125, 25 laps to go. Rob Haynes, our current race leader, racing it out with Donald Stewart. Sean Dewar, Jake Ritchie, Matthew Quick, our top 5. Paul Cohen leading that second pack with the number 117 of John Woodruff, Ivan Garcia, John Pansula, David Casia. Still 3 laps down, but still motivating around this 2.6 mile speedway. This is the 4th annual Kma Racing Santadega, proudly brought to you by John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. Out there on that Kma TV chat, Doug Turner, Rednecks Racing, talking about family first, and especially at this time of year. And you know, I do want to talk about that family situation. We have got our real life family, our wives, our children, our mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, first and second, third, fourth cousins. Family first for absolutely sure. But here within the Kma Racing community, within the iRacing community, within every league out there, be it Loose Lugnuts, be it Kma, be it A-Top Gamers, be it Old Farts, be it whoever your league is, there is the family atmosphere. And I kind of joke with some of our drivers, and I joke with my wife that, you know, me and Joel, and me and Edward, we hang out and talk probably almost as much as I hang out with my wife. And here within Kma, I've talked about the brotherhood, and I tell you what, that is something I strongly encourage within the Kma Racing community, is a brotherhood respect. We all make mistakes, we all screw up, we all wreck one another. But one thing you have to remember, there is always another race. You only get one friendship. You only get one family. You got to take care of one another. You got to love one another. And I am feeling the love out here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. 5 cautions with 104 laps, 21 to go on a super speedway. That is not a bad race at all. A lot of give and take being shown out here. Donald Stewart, second position. Rob Haynes in first. Donald Stewart in first. Rob Haynes in second. They're just going back and forth and back and forth. That is a ton of truck out here, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Dewar sitting in third position. Now one more time to remind you, Everett Lane on the tail end of this pack, technically. Everett Lane does not want Donald Stewart to pass him. As soon as Donald Stewart passes Everett Lane, that will put Everett Lane 1 lap down. Even though Everett Lane is in the position he is in, Everett Lane has led 11 laps, and he has put up one good fight tonight, folks. Rob Haynes, last year's winner, leading up 12 laps tonight. Absolutely awesome job by Rob Haynes. But looking like he's got a little bit of damage up there on the front. Number 17, Jake Ritchie, having a little bit of a server issue. Thought I saw him blink. 3 wide action with Ivan Garcia. Ivan Garcia, John Pansula, very, very tight. tighter than a hair in a biscuit. John Pansula on the upside of that 3 wide with the number 27 of Danny Rudy. Danny Rudy having a good night out here tonight. Unfortunately, 2 laps down for Danny Rudy. He's having a lot of fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in-car action with Rob Haynes coming up onto some slower traffic. We are going to be 3 wide, ladies and gentlemen, with the slower traffic. Derek Glachaki, slower traffic up on that outside lane. Safe passage allowed. Jason Russo, Kevin Scott Nelson, Lee Staples. Kevin Scott Nelson in 11th, Lee Staples 2 laps down. Looking at about 45 seconds back off of our race leaders with 17 to go. Five cautions for 109 laps. That is a good race. 44 lead changes. I am predicting we are going to hit 50. Most of the lead changes right now coming between Donald Stewart and Rob Haynes. Rob Haynes, last year's Santadega winner. Rob Haynes is hungry. Rob Haynes is as hungry as a bear in Alaska when the salmon are spawning. Rob Haynes on that outside lane getting a push from the number 62 of Sean Dewar. Chris Boyles 1 lap down in the number 68. Third truck on that inside lane, the Hardy Mobile. Another lap down driver. Still doing a great job. So this is interesting. On the inside lane, folks, we have got Everett Lane on the tail end of this lead pack, hoping Donald does not lap him and put him down a lap. Then we've got Donald, our race leader. Then we have got Chris Boyles 1 lap down. 15 laps to go. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 4th annual Santadega, it is go time. But you got to remember, a lot of these drivers, they have not yet pitted. We are still going to see green flag pit stops. A lot of drivers right now pushing their Chevy Silverados and their Toyota Tundras to the limit. They are taking it to the limit. Here they go into pit row. Everett Lane into pit row. Sean Dewar into pit row. Nope, Sean Dewar's staying out. But Everett Lane into pit row. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We were just talking about those green flag pit stops. And in goes Everett Lane. Number 78, Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart into pit row. Reminder that Donald Stewart offering up a little bit of a cash payout tonight. He may be driving the Grinch truck, but Donald Stewart, no Grinch tonight. Offering up $25 to first place, $15 to second, $10 to third, with the stipulation that it ends underneath green flag racing. Sean Dewar leading his 8th lap of the night up there working with Danny Rudy in the number 27. Now, I do believe Danny Rudy is 1 lap down, 2 laps down for Danny Rudy, and our race leader again working with the lap traffic. Interesting situation. Sean Dewar, Matt Quick, still having to get their way in and out of pit row. Actually, Matt Quick may have just exited pit row. Sean Dewar out there on that front line. Sean Dewar making his way down pit row. Green flag pit stop for our race leader, Sean Dewar, Old Schools Motorsports. That will put Donald Stewart out there on that front line. What an interesting change of events right now. We just had Everett Lane was leading Donald Stewart. Everett Lane is now 1 lap down, but happier than a chipmunk with a nut to push Donald Stewart to that win with 12 laps to go. Can Donald Stewart do a threefer? Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Stewart winning Thursday night at Daytona. Donald Stewart winning Friday night at Homestead. Can Donald Stewart win Saturday night at Talladega? That would be unprecedented, ladies and gentlemen. We will call that a threefer. He's got good help. He's got Everett Lane. Taking a quick look at our running order. Kevin Scott Nelson in 4th, 6 seconds back. Rob Haynes 9 seconds back. Everett Lane working with our race leader, first driver, 1 lap down. Jason Russo, Kevin Scott Nelson, Lee Staples hooked up. Nice paint job on that number, 224, Kevin Scott Nelson. 10 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Quick, the number 89. Raymond Rittenauer, the number 29. Everett Lane pushing our race leader. All right, so right now this is the situation. Donald Stewart, first position. Everett Lane, lap traffic. Matthew Quick, second position. Raymond Rittenauer, third position. Fourth position, 6 seconds back. This is down to Donald, Raymond, and Kevin Scott Nelson. Donald Stewart's remaining 9 minutes of tonight is in the hands of Everett Lane. I have faith in Donald. I have faith in Everett Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go on and call this right now. I am putting my money on Donald Stewart. Now, how's that going to work out? Because Donald Stewart said he's going to pay $25 to the race winner if we finish under green flag racing. Well, I guess Donald will have to pay himself $25. Well, he'll have to go to the store and buy himself a special Christmas present. How about that? Coming around the lap traffic of the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy trying to grab onto the rear end of Raymond Rittenauer. Not sure he's going to be able to catch that draft off of the number 29. Everett Lane all over the rear end of Donald Stewart. Trying to do everything he can to give Donald Stewart a very, very happy Christmas present. And what a Christmas present that would be to receive. Can Donald Stewart win the Santadega with 7 laps to go. Lap 118 of 125 in the books. What a night, ladies and gentlemen. Fourth position now has fallen to 7.67 seconds back. Kevin Scott Nelson. They are running, but they are not running as fast as our race leaders. Donald Stewart, Matthew Quick, Raymond Rittenauer positions 1, 2, and 3, with Everett Lane trying to help out Donald Stewart. Matthew Quick in the number 89, Racers for Jesus. Nice truck to be running out here at Christmas. May we all remember the reason for the season, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we love Sir Santa, it's a little bit more than Santa. It's a little bit more than bows and ribbons. If you're in a position to help your favorite charity, this is the time of year those charities are in need. The reason for the season, ladies and gentlemen. 5 to go, lap 120 of 125. Donald Stewart, the Grinch that he is, trying to get the number 78 up to that front line. And keeper there, he is up to that front line. Can he go 5 more laps? Coming up onto lap traffic. Lap traffic will be edging up to that high side. .47 lead changes. I had predicted 50 after I had predicted 40. May not hit 50, but it ain't over until the fat lady sings. Or in tonight's case, it ain't over until the fat man sings. Donald Stewart leading 25 laps. Matthew Quick leading 18 laps. Raymond Rittenauer leading 18 laps. Rob Haynes leading 16, but Rob Haynes sitting in 7th position, 14 seconds back. Rob Haynes doesn't look like Rob Haynes will win his second Santadega. 3 to go, ladies and gentlemen. If that caution were to come out right now, it would freeze the field, and Donald Stewart would indeed win. Raymond Rittenauer, if he's going to make a move, there they go. They are making a move. Here goes Raymond Rittenauer, Matthew Quick to that outside lane with 3 to go on the backstretch. Speeds of 194, 195 miles per hour. Matt Quick challenging Donald Stewart for that win. Partners have been chosen. Everett Lane, the lap traffic that he is, teaming up with Donald Stewart. Raymond Rittenauer teaming up with Matthew Quick. 2 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 123 of 125 in the books here at Santadega. A little bit of a thought they had swapped. They are still, Everett Lane, he's got to be hot. He's not getting no air to that front end. He's trying to edge off the bumper of the number 78. He has got to be burning, burning, burning. I think that was a song by Elvis back in the day. Matthew Quick side by side with Donald Stewart. 3 wide, lap traffic, number 72, Ivan Garcia. This is racing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is all about. Donald Stewart representing Loose Lug Nuts and Kma Racing. trying to bring her home. Raymond Rittenauer onto the outside of Matthew Quick. He's got to be hot, trying to cool that engine, that Chevy Silverado. 1 to go, ladies and gentlemen. White flag is in the air. Donald Stewart, caution is out. As the number 28 of Chris Boyles. Tough break there, as looks like maybe Sean Dewar. Was that Sean Dewar got into a little bit of trouble there with Rob Haynes? Let's find out. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Haynes getting into a little bit of a contact there with Sean Dewar in the number 62, bringing out our 6th caution of the night with 1 to go. Tough, talk about a twofer right there. Number 62 getting a twofer. Ladies and gentlemen, that will seal the deal for Donald Stewart. But unfortunately, not sure what that payout is going to be. Caution coming out, lap 124 of 125. Still 3/4 of a lap to make it official. But as it sits, we've got Raymond Rittenauer sitting in 3rd position. Matthew Quick sitting in 2nd. Donald Stewart will win the 4th annual Santadega. Good job there to Donald Stewart, as the final caution will freeze this field. How about it, Matthew Quick? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, Raymond, we got Raymond up here as well. I know you guys hated to see that caution come out.
I hate it so much. We had the strategy, we were going for it, and we were literally less than 100 feet away from going to the last lap, and it wouldn't have mattered if that caution came out anyway. You know what I mean?
Well, I tell you what, you guys did a great job. What were your thoughts there, though, with Everett Lane lap traffic? Because oftentimes those lead lap drivers, they're like, lap traffic, get the heck out of my darn way. But I tell you what, Everett was very dedicated to Donald Stewart tonight. What are your thoughts on that?
He raced his race. I had no problem with it. He came from the back. All of us were saving fuel, so he went all the way down to the ground trying to get where he was at. So I got no problem with what Everett did. I feel bad that he messed up on that pitch strategy and it bit him in the butt.
Well, how about it, Raymond? How about a couple of thoughts from you?
Well, it would have been fun there at the end if it didn't go yellow.
All right, well, I tell you what, Raymond Rittenauer, Matthew Quick finishing up 2nd and 3rd. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Donald Stewart, though. Well, what do you think, Donald? I know you're happier than a hoot owl in a hen house.
Woo, baby! 3 in a row.
3. You're no longer called Donald Stewart, sir. You are now called Donald Threefer. Talk to me about your night there and how you worked out with Everett Lane.
Oh man, I'm telling you, Everett Lane, he's him and Edward Bray. I'm telling you, them two are the best pussies I've ever had on the back of my truck, and I really appreciate everything Everett did for me tonight. He's a heck of a driver and he's a heck of a person.
Now, once Everett Lane got onto the rear end of you, you guys went into pit row, and Everett Lane was in front of you. Now, if you had passed Everett, that'd put him a lap down. When you guys came out of pit row, you had passed him, putting him a lap down. Was that planned, or was that just the race off of pit row?
No, actually, Everett was actually a lap down, and he was in front of me. And you know what? I pushed him for I don't know how many laps, not even knowing that I was in the lead. I was thinking Everett had the lead. And I was just going to pit with him, and we were going to do our thing at the end. And I looked down, and I go, holy shit, I'm in first, not him. He was a lap down. So he pitted with me and did me a favor to keep me up there.
Well, I tell you what, you did a hell of a job. You led out here tonight with 29 laps, our big leader of the night. But I tell you what, the question of the hour, now you had made a statement that if tonight's race finished under green flag racing, you would give the top 3 drivers a little bit of spending money there for Christmas. Now, first question, is it good enough? I mean, will you consider this under green? Because, man, we were almost there. Second question, well, are you going to pay yourself now $25?
Saved me a little bit of money, didn't I?
No, you still got to pay yourself.
Actually, I told him if it was under caution, I would give him half. So Second place would actually get like $7.50, and third would get like $5. But you know, it was a hell of a race. Matthew and Raymond did a hell of a job, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them the 15 and the 10.
All righty, I'll let you get down there and talk to them about that. Any final thoughts? Now, this was the biggest race of the year. I thoroughly thank you for being here. I'll tell you what, we got a few fans out there. Why don't you go on and wish our fans a Merry Christmas and get on out of here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Merry Christmas, y'all. You know, if it wasn't for the fans enjoying what we do and us enjoying what we do, we really wouldn't have nothing to do. We'd be all sitting around watching TV. So I appreciate them watching and tuning in, and I hope we give them a good show. You know, we got a green flag pit stop in. So I hope they enjoyed it, and I gotta give a big shout out to John Hedrick, man, my painter. He's just awesome, over the top paints and designs. And all of our sponsors, Greg McClendon with Pi 5 and Jason Ruscio with Pro Automotive, GW, Gary Whitmer Jr. with GW Graphics, Richard Brose with Richie B's Pizza, Scott Kulovic with KMA Racing. Love all you guys, and I hope y'all have a very Merry Christmas.
All right, well, I tell you what, Donald, we love you too. Donald Threefer Stewart, winning on Thursday, winning on Friday, winning on Saturday, winning the 4th annual Santadega. I'll put you down there with Raymond and Matt, and I'll let you give them guys their good news.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a race out here tonight as we watch Donald Stewart spin those tires a little bit. Laps in the books, 125. Lead changes, 47. 7 cautions, totaling out 15 laps. We are going to take a look at those race results. Get on out of here. I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. God bless. Love you all. Hope Santa's good to you. And we'll see you back on track and in the booth on the Tuesday following Christmas. Merry Christmas from Kma TV.